I'm here with Chris Giroux, who is seeking election for School Board Position District 1. I'm asking the same questions of all the candidates. You are acknowledging to me and the viewers that you have not had any foreknowledge of the questions that I'll be asking. Even though we are friends, I have not previously shared this information with you, correct?
You have not.
All right. So I'm going to start this off with a little different question. And so my question is, tell us something unique about yourself.
Wow. Honestly, I don't really consider myself as unique. I consider myself an average kind of guy. So that's a tough question. I guess very giving. Most men that I know aren't willing to just on a moment's notice just drop everything and give you whatever it is you need. And I'm kind of one of those kind of people that shirt off the back. You know, if you need help moving, okay, I'm there. If you need help, whatever. So I guess that would be the only thing I could classify as maybe unique about me.
All right. What do you bring to the table that will enhance the school board?
I have physically worked for the school district in the past. I was with them in the maintenance department for two and a half years. And so I understand the inner workings of the facilities themselves. That I know the other school board members that are currently on there, they haven't really been crawling through the tunnels underneath Central High School or you know, seeing the inner workings of what's going on. They just get reports. And so I know where the district needs to spend money on infrastructure and where we don't need to spend money on infrastructure.
What motivated you to step up and run for school board?
After working for the school district for the several years, they were coming up with a bond for $149 million. And I couldn't sit idly by and allow the taxpayers to buy into something like that. They were proposing it as a safety bond for the students of SAISD, and the community did step up and they voted against it twice. The safety and security of the students is of the utmost of importance, but they also found all of the money that they needed to accomplish everything that they wanted to do safety and security wise in that bond right out of fund balance. So they already had the money to do that. Everything else was just extra money.
Do you have children or grandchildren currently in SAISD?
I do not currently have any children in SAISD. I do have three wonderful kids, 12, 10, and 8, but they live with their mother in Waco, Texas. So my children do not attend here.
Okay. I'm going to change the questions up just a bit, to get your perspective on a lot of different things, so kind of bullet points. You can expand or however. So your perspective on these topics: transgender restrooms and showers.
Okay, I'm definitely against transgendered restrooms and showers. Currently, the school district already has a policy that if a child is not comfortable using the facilities that they were basically born into, that they are allowed to seek the use of an adult or a faculty restroom, which is a single person restroom. So the school district, in essence, has already really taken care of this point, and as far as I'm concerned, I would consider that addressed.
Okay. Teaching sexuality options to elementary age children.
In my personal opinion, I do not think that the school district should have the obligation to be teaching sex ed to anybody, really. That should be up to the parents of the student. I don't believe, especially, that we need to be teaching elementary age students sexual education at all either.
Critical race theory.
I don't agree with critical race theory.
Misinformation and omission in our textbooks today.
There are some good organizations out there that are going through the textbooks currently and are finding the facts that have been omitted and the facts that just are not facts any longer. I'm a firm believer that if we find any of the textbooks that are in use in SAISD that are inaccurate in any way, shape, or form, we're doing our students a disservice. They need to be getting the actual physical history of our country or whatever it is they're studying without being shaded in any way, shape, or form.
Old-fashioned reading, writing, and arithmetic.
Oh, is it old-fashioned?
No. Your perspective on old-fashioned reading, writing, and
Oh,
arithmetic.
my bad. I'm a firm believer in if you can't read or write or do math, you're probably not going to do very well later on in life. Every child needs to learn how to read. We do have a issue in SAISD with reading. If you are not reading at grade level by the third grade, it's going to be very difficult for you to catch up at that point. And we have lots of upperclassmen that are not reading at grade level. SAISD has implemented a reading program in the last couple of years, and I'm hoping that is working well, because if you do not have the basics, reading, writing, and arithmetic, you cannot advance in any other way, shape, or form in your other classes, because they're essential for each and every course that you're going to take.
Teaching life skills.
I believe that we should be teaching life skills. You need to make sure that once a child has graduated the 12th grade, that they're able to go out on their own and balance a checkbook, go do grocery shopping, take care of themselves, because ultimately that's what we want for our children, to grow up, leave the nest, and have families of their own. And they need those life skills in order to advance themselves and their own families.
Teaching the trades, plumbing, electrical, construction.
I am a master electrician, been doing electrical since I graduated high school, over 29 years now, wow. So I am a firm believer in the trades. Everybody is not wired to go to college. You do not have to go to college in order to make a very good living. I believe that we're doing a disservice to students if we just push them towards college, and we need to make it available to them in order to pursue trades of plumbing, electrical, carpentry, cabinetry. There's a very wide field out there, and we need good tradesmen. There are over 800,000 open trades jobs in this country right now. So anybody that says that they're out of work and they can't find something to do, there's work out there.
Mask mandates and social distancing when youth have virtually zero issues with COVID-19.
I would agree that the numbers that we are seeing is that the younger folks are not as susceptible to getting the COVID virus. Not saying that they can't. I would probably say that the current school board and administration is erring on the side of the CDC and their recommendations. I am not a proponent of masks, but however, if you are going to have 20 or 25 people in a close quarter classroom all day, I'm a simple master electrician. I'm not the person to be saying yay or nay. So I would probably defer to the health professionals. But I believe that more and more, as we're seeing the vaccinations coming out, Pfizer has now said that their vaccination is 100% good for 12 and up on children. So more and more, I think we're going to get further and further away from these mask mandates.
Students in sports being required to wear a mask while competing.
I believe that would be totally asinine. It doesn't matter. The mask is not going to save you from anything while you're playing football or soccer. It's just going to probably cause you to hyperventilate.
Changing the names of schools.
This is a subject that it's done and buried now. The current school board has already determined that they've changed the name to Lone Star Middle School. I was against the name change. The problem with Lee Middle School is not the name of the school. The problem is the fact that 69% of the students aren't reading at grade level. If you wanted to spend $125,000 on doing something at Lee Middle School, let's work on the fact that we're not properly educating the students, and less about the fact that a person that is no longer on this earth with us has a school named after him.
Okay, I'm going to change from bullet points now back to questions. Would you be willing to stand up for the betterment of our children against TEA mandates?
Absolutely. If there is something that I myself and the rest of the board team agree does not really fall in line with what's going on here in San Angelo, I'd be 100% for standing up against TEA. You can't take 100% of what an organization says and follow it to the ends of the earth, because you're going to make mistakes going along, and so are they. So you're going to have to take each situation and each mandate that they come down with and examine it to make sure that it is something that is in line with the betterment of our children.
If our community does not want these or other progressive, secular, anti-faith standards in our schools, would you fight to bring back godly standards to our local school system?
I believe that we should have godly standards in our school system. They currently do the Pledge of Allegiance in our schools now, and that we're one nation under God. That's how we were founded. And if we don't get God back in the center of our country, our system won't work. It was founded on godly principles here in the United States. That's how our founders founded it. And without godly principles, our Constitution and our Declaration of Independence are worthless. So we need to make sure that without trampling on other people's beliefs, that we still stay God-centered in our educational system.
So with that in mind, what would you be willing to do?
For example,
To bring in what you're talking about.
well, we need to stop removing things that are Christian based. We're seeing more and more that the cancel culture is trying to remove things that are Christian based, things that are Southern based. They got rid of the rebel flag and all that stuff. We want to eliminate Robert E. Lee and Samuel L. Jackson. We need to make sure that we're not removing our heritage, we're not removing our history, and we don't need to be bringing in things that are not part of our history.
Do you think there should be an exit test for students to show that they can handle basic life skills, basic employable work requirements, and not simply just passed along to keep the numbers looking great in order to receive their diploma?
I believe we already really have that. That's the task test that they're requiring them to take, and if you do not pass that, you're not able to graduate. I don't believe that the reason that you're going to get a K through 12 education is not essentially for life skills. So I don't think there should be a life skills portion of it. Hopefully by the time you're in 12th grade, you've picked up on what it takes to do your own laundry and wash your feet. But I would not be one that would be for placing another barrier in front of graduation.
The budget and overseeing facilities are a large part of the responsibilities of the school board. Share your ideas on how to keep our facilities in good repair and updated without busting the bank.
Well, I will say this, while working in the maintenance department, there was a lot of things that we did time and time again that were fairly, I would deem, unnecessary. We would every year at the whim of these principals move classrooms around and move detention rooms around. And when you have a detention room, we have to remove all light switches, all outlets, everything has to come out so they don't tear the room up and hurt themselves. And they would constantly move these rooms around every year. We're spending money over and over again every year to do the same thing over and over again. And it's not enhancing anything for the educational purposes. I do know that as of when I was there and under Jeff Bright, we did have a program for replacing heating and air conditioning units, which was good, and I hope that the school district has kept that going under Dr. McFarland. Because once you get past that 20-year lifespan on a unit, it becomes more and more costly to keep it running. Plus, the new units are more energy efficient, which helps save on our electric bills throughout the district. There are, I would say, currently 3 to 5 elementary schools that would either need to be closed and consolidated to another campus or torn down and rebuilt. They're past their lifespan on the effectiveness of maintaining them. It's costing more to maintain than it would to bulldoze it and rebuild. I know that the school district came at us several years back for a $149 million bond. It's approximately $19 million to build an elementary school turnkey, fully loaded, ready to go, just throw the students in there. I'm pretty sure that we could get the citizens of San Angelo behind a bond for $60 million to replace 3 elementary schools. I can name Bowie, Fannin, and McGill right now are 3 critical campuses that could use new schools. But do I feel that Central High School needs another $34 million multi-purpose facility? I think they got enough money out of the first bond. We need to be taking care of some of these elementary schools that barely got touched at all.
Okay. Do you think our current financial structure, budget-wise, is too top-heavy administratively? And would you be willing to trim at the top to allow more funds to be utilized at the actual school level?
I absolutely think that we're getting top-heavy again. We had a problem under Joe Gonzalez back in the 90s where the state actually stepped in and told them that we had too many people in administration. They needed to cut the fat and trim it back. So I have seen it building up again since 2012, 2015. We started adding more and more administrators over there. We used to have 2 assistant superintendents and a superintendent. Now we have a superintendent, a deputy superintendent, 3 assistant superintendents, and then not to mention all the executive directors underneath these assistant superintendents. So we keep adding all this muscle up at the top, but these aren't the people that are touching the lives of our children. We could take an administrator and hire 2 teachers for what we're paying an administrator. So let's get some more teachers in our classrooms where we can get the numbers down. So, you know, if you can have between 18 and 20 students in a classroom, that's more time that teacher can spend with each student, as opposed to having to run through everything. And some of the students that really need the help aren't getting that one-on-one time. So I think our money would be better spent not on administrators, but on getting more teachers and aides in the schools themselves.
Do you prefer automatic pay raises or more of a merit-based raise, and why?
Well, I am a believer that the current system that they have right now, where they figure out whether everybody across the board is going to get 1, 2, 3, or 5%, is not a valid way to hand out pay raises. I'm not going to speak towards the teaching side of things, but I will speak towards the facility side because I was in there. There were 150 people that are under facilities maintenance. That's all the custodial and everybody that in construction. And it didn't matter what you did, how long you've been doing it, or any of that. It was every single person got X raise. So you got if it was a 3% raise that year, you got a 3% raise on your block. Do I think that that's fair? Absolutely not, because you have some people that work over there and they do just enough not to get fired. And then you have some people that are working over there that are busting their humps to make sure that everything is getting done and everything is great for the kids, and they're giving it their all, but they get absolutely no extra recognition pay-wise for what they're doing. They're getting the exact same thing as the person that's doing just enough not to get fired. So from a morale standpoint, I do not believe in the across the board raise. I believe in a merit raise. I'm not 100% certain how viable it is to do merit raises in the teaching positions, but I would be very much open to suggestions and talking with other school board members on how to accomplish that, because I think that merit-based raises encourages people to be great. And if I have a chance to make more money by doing that, then I'm going to want to be the best teacher I can possibly be, not just skate by because that's all I have to do.
If parents are not happy with the TEA, with what TEA is requiring, what are you willing to do to be the voice for them to the state?
Well, any constituent that has an issue with something that the TEA has coming down, or something that the school board is proposing or has initiated, I would more than welcome come to the school board meetings. If I'm elected to the school board, contact me via email, call me on the phone, talk to me. I'm more willing to listen to what your issue or grievance might be with whatever the subject matter is, and I would help take that to the next level, wherever it needs to go.
All right. Describe what you envision as being the representative for the people who vote you into this position on the school board. What do you envision as being their representative?
Well, I want to be a voice for the people. I know that right now, currently, the school board members that are on there, most of them have been there at least 2 terms or longer, and they all vote identically. They all vote together. It's like they've already discussed it and they know what it's going to be. And I have brought this up in the past, and I have had the school board members say, we're only voting for what's good for the children. That's why we all vote the same. I said, it doesn't matter if you say that. Dissent is not bad for the children. And just because somebody has a differing opinion on what's best for the children doesn't mean that all 7 people should be voting the exact same way every single time. And that's all it ever is, except for the Art Hernandez voted in dissent against changing the name of Lee Middle School. Was the only time I've ever seen them at odds with each other. I want to be a voice for the people. I want to be a voice for the people that elect me. And if something smells fishy, I want to step up and say, no, I don't agree with this, and we need to address this further before we go any farther. I am not afraid to stick my foot out there and say, we need to back this up, or no, this is not a good idea for the children. I'm not afraid to be that person. I think we need somebody on the school board that is willing to say no every now and then, so that we're not just blindly throwing darts at a wall.
Closing thoughts or comments that you would like to make?
I'd just like to say that I've been here in San Angelo now for since 1991, so coming up on 30 years now. I consider myself a San Angelan. I got to Texas as fast as I could. I want to serve the children of SAISD. I believe that they deserve the best representation possible. I believe that every now and then we need to change some things over to get some new visions and ideas on our boards. This is not a position that receives any monetary sum at all. It's a voluntary position, and I'm willing to put in the time to do what's best for the children. So I appreciate your vote on May 1st.
If somebody wants to reach out and contact you, Facebook page, website, phone numbers, emails, how?
Email would be the easiest way to get a hold of me. That's going to be CHRISCOGIROUX@yahoo.com. I do not use Facebook because I don't agree with Facebook, but that's a different story all in itself. Or give me a call, 325-450-1214. Leave me a message. If I don't answer, I will get back with you.
All right. Thank you so much for your time today. I wish you all the best in your race.
Thank you very much.